When the TexMesonet network first started, our agency already had several rain gauges around the region and weather stations around the region, so we were one of the first cooperators to start feeding data that we collect from our sites into the TexMesonet program. So we've had a long-lasting relationship with the TexMesonet program. We decided, though, with the acquisition of our field research park here in northern Bexar County, we have a unique opportunity to collect long-term data. So we own this property outright. We know that we can, for future generations, can continue to collect data, can continue to perform studies out here to help us better understand the hydrologic cycle in this part of Texas. Having a permanent TexMesonet station just seemed like kind of a no-brainer. With all these records that are breaking, records only go back as far as you were keeping records. And so it's very important that we maintain these sites long-term so that we can identify and observe the data and the information that's collected in these sites for generations and years to come into the future. Not just limited to the water in the ground. We are reliant on our observable climate data. One of the big things that our modeling group, which they actually use the data that we collect from all these stations, rainfall data, solar radiation is a real big key. One of the factors that we're looking at in our models now is not only the lack of rain, which we know there hasn't been a lot of rain, but also the intensity of the solar radiation. So that's one of the parameters that the TexMesonet stations provide, is that solar radiation parameter, so we can see the intensity of the temperatures and the sun coming down, right? You can have no rain, and if temperatures are mild, it's a lot different than if you have no rain and it's been 105 for 40 days straight. So having that information, not only to just the people that are out there saying, hey, I wonder what temperature it is in my area, and they can go to the TexMesonet site and look that up, but having that longer trend data, being able to look back and see what it was like in 2014 or 2023 and have that historical record is vital. One of the big things that we're pushing study-wise out here at the Field Research Park is diffuse recharge. A lot of this area is a lot like the homesteads out in the hill country, and so identifying how we can slow the flow of water, allow it to infiltrate into the ground, and build that soil profile so that you can retain the moisture in the ground. The more you can retain the moisture in the ground, the better it is for the hydrologic cycle, for recharging the aquifer, but also for keeping temperatures a little bit cooler, right? If we can maintain some moisture in the ground for a lot longer, we can mitigate some of these extreme temperatures. So there's a lot of cool research going on. We're really interested in the soil plot, the soil moisture data that the TexMesonet station and now the Water Development Board has become the primary agency to collect not only this weather station data, but soil moisture data, evapotranspiration data. All of those data points are vital to how we manage the Edwards Aquifer.
TexMesonet is a network of weather and soil observing stations across the entire state of Texas. 100 of those sites are maintained by the Texas Water Development Board, and over 3,000 others are coming from other networks such as the National Weather Service, regional entities like the Lower Colorado River Authority, as well as some specialized networks such as the Texas Soil Observation Network or the Harris County Flood Control District. And so all this data is coming in, again, from thousands of sites, and it's being displayed in one spot so emergency managers can see it easily, so farmers and ranchers have access to data near their land, and also so that everyday Texans can monitor the weather in their area. So Water Development Board stations collect data on wind, temperature, humidity, solar radiation, barometric pressure, precipitation, as well as soil moisture and soil temperature. TexMesonet is useful for a lot of different user groups. We get researchers asking for data that is easily accessible. In other cases, they may have had to go to many different online resources to find the data that they need. It's also useful for operations such as wildland firefighting, where they're monitoring winds when a current fire is happening. It's useful for ranchers or farmers who may use the soil temperature data to know when to plant, and as well as everyday Texans who can monitor data on their own at home.